global warming, extinction of species, and possible nuclear winter. Billionaire gives away some of his fortune to help save the ocean. Norwegian Kjell Inge Rokke has decided to give the lion's share of his 2.7 billion fortune towards building a 596-foot marine research vessel that's also designed to scoop up major oceanic threat plastic pollution. EcoWatch reporting. And one would need to ask, if you didn't actually have the inequality so that you have billionaires, would you have the eco disaster that then somebody can be a hero and give away a lion's share of their fortune that they shouldn't have in the first place? Go figure. Anyway, yes, the world situation is absolutely terrifying. And I return to that with my I don't know, perhaps my main ranty question today. But of course, the main reason why I'm overall doing this particular recording is, of course, the British election. And, I just, again, with hopefully no one watching, just to outer space by myself, I want to give my, all my support and my hopes and dreams and everything to Jeremy Corbyn and his people. It would be an absolute miracle if Corbyn would win, or near win. That would already be, a lot. It might be actually of a small change towards something resembling better in the disaster that is our world at the moment. It would be amazing. And should Corbyn actually win, that would be interesting, because it would mean that, during my lifetime, the two most important things to humanity would have been done by British voters. Firstly, of course, Brexit. Only they did that. Exited the European Union, which hopefully, it would need to disappear, but you still have lots of powerful neoliberals who want their little tool. But anyway, Brits voted Brexit, and now if they would suddenly vote the anti-establishment guy into power, guy who shouldn't be there, total, accident by first the new Labour leadership and then by Theresa May for calling this election. The only two reasonable things amongst all this, incredible neoliberal propaganda and machinery, that has made ordinary, people of the Western world to give away all their, rights and lives during the last 100 years or so. I learn all the time when it's tragic. So anyway, the two most important, in any way reasonable things for humanity, both of them, during my damned lifetime, would have been done by the British voters. Brexit, Corbyn Labour into power. Yeah. It would be interesting, and after that, you would have to ask the rest of the Western world, okay, now what are you gonna do? Let's see. But that's why this video exists. State Department is working to ID Erdogan bodyguards who beat up protesters in the DC Daily Caller reporting. And actually, I can't remember whether they ID'd the bodyguards. But anyway, one just has to say something about that. I mean, it's so interesting, and of course, it's all BS, of course, absolutely everything. But it still is funny amongst all the propaganda and regime changing and Hollywood brainwashing, absolutely anything you can possibly imagine. Fox News, all this crap, total oligarchy. Among all this, you have like the United States, the people of the United States having something against Muslims and brown people and so on. I mean, doesn't get crazier than that. But still, I mean, they were Turkish. They were brown people beating up United Statians in Washington, D.C. I mean, that's a bit ironic. One had to say that, really. JBS chairman taped Brazil president discussing hush money, Reuters reporting, and of course this has ballooned into riots. And I've learned this bastard's name. It's Michel Temer, and it would seem that it indeed was a coup that took out Dilma Rousseff, who it seems had done less wrong than any other Brazilian politician since forever, and the people who came instead again. It was a, I don't know how you call these things. It's some sort of a, is it a neoliberal money power IMF Washington human rights group coup d'etat, or we should have some way of describing these things, and what has been tried and is being tried continuously in Venezuela and done all over the world at one time or another. There should be a word for it, but obviously, I mean that's ridiculous. You remove somebody for corruption, and then you get somebody who, you place somebody there who couldn't be more corrupt if he tried. I mean, again, somebody, if you're from Brazil, I mean, how do you call this progress? Or what sort of a progress it is? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, and one, again, this is news. France Macron unveils cabinet, half of them women. Edition, CNN.com reporting. And again, it of course should have been Mélenchon. Macron is the Bill Clinton of France, most likely. We'll see. But I mean, even with all the crap that is coming, especially if Corbyn doesn't win, that might start something. I don't know. Well, we'll see. But I mean, see, amongst all the disaster that is with the Western world at the moment, half of them women is still good, and that is something that should simply be done all over the world. We don't really care. Always 50-50 everywhere. Half of the leadership, half of the whatever women. Oh, by the way, then one has to say that there should be in a decent society also half of the teachers should be males. And half of the social workers and so on should be males, and half of the nurses should be males, and so on. We do have problems going both ways, but still, to begin with. Half of, the members of cabinets all over the world, half of them women, always. Something good, if mostly bad. Australian oil well leaked into the ocean for months, but spill kept secret, The Guardian reporting. So again, it would seem that Australia as well, I mean, it doesn't seem to be any different from Europe or the United States, does it? One should get a friend from Australia and try to get them to explain. Well, UK charities gagged from speaking out against Theresa May, Independent reporting. Again, it's pure lunacy. I cannot understand anyone, outside the top 1% of 1%. Why would anyone want to vote for Theresa May and her ridiculous Margaret Thatcher party? But I mean, UK charities gagged. I mean, can somebody again explain how could that possibly be, healthy? How that can be good? Oh boy. Yes, and this was last, not many days ago. A Muslim man dies saving hundreds of lives by hugging a suicide bomber. AwarenessAct.com reporting. And he was not the first one. And of course my respects to him. But then again, one has to say, again, so to speak, for one's soul, that yes, I'm totally aware that vast majority, almost all the victims of so-called terror and bombing victims, the people who suffer and die and so on, are Muslim. And to read these suicide bomber huggers is inspirational. All my respect. Researchers have succeeded in making an antibiotic 1,000 times stronger in a scientific breakthrough which could strengthen modern medicine's arsenal in its fight against drug-resistant infections. CNBC.com. And what's your first thought about that? And what will that do? Soon you will have bugs that are 1,000 times stronger than anything known before. Should mankind by some miracle survive, which I doubt it does, I mean, again, that promises a pretty dangerous future. I don't know what happened to all those new. They were supposed to find new antibiotics. It was some sort of a film that was dipped into earth, and they found new fungi or something. I don't know what's happened to the. I personally was placing great hope on actually new discoveries. This doesn't. This really to me this is more dystopic than anything else. Well. Vatican compares Trump to flat earthers over his climate agreement withdrawal. Thinking that we need and must rely on coal and oil is like claiming that the earth is not round. It's an absurdity brought forward only to make money, Bishop Sanchez Sorondo stated. IFLScience.com. anyone that anyone again, if someone can compare your president and your government to flat earthers, and that somebody making the comparison comes from the Vatican, that your your society is in decline, United States. That is something. Yes. Manchester One Love concert. Thousands pose as victims of terror attack to get free tickets. The Independent reporting. And again, no reason to doubt this. I mean, after everything, there are not many lows that mankind cannot reach, are there? I have to say. And of course, since Manchester came up, one has to, of course, give out one's condolences to Manchester. But at the same time, of course, to all those people in the Middle East and elsewhere, where whose lives are continuous terror because of greed for money, oil, weapon sales by rich bastards. And then, of course, huge condolences to Iran and Tehran for terror attack. If one has to say, one really has to, feel for the Iranian people. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, Persia and old culture. I think they held our civilization at one point, didn't they? It was safe there in the Middle Ages, in the Dark Ages. I'm pretty sure. But still, I mean, first they have a democratic government and CIA and British intelligence, overthrow, and put in a Shah, a complete, an insane autocrat, and then the revolution that gets rid of the Shah has to be a religious one, because the only place where you can have free speech is going to be mosques and other religious places. So then you get religious theocracy, and then when Iranians get more info and they try to do their best, they vote for the best of all evils. They just get more sanctions for that, and their lives are not nice because of religious police and all this sort of crap. And now then, after all this, now they get terrorist bombing and terrorist attacks. I mean, I'm so sorry for the people of of Iran. Not my doing. Should mankind survive, I hope that the Iranian people will have a bright and a decent future. We'll see. Anyway, since I had to do this recording, even though again the world is just crazy, and even with Corbyn. Even if Corbyn wins, it's just a very small step, and one doesn't know exactly what good will come out of it, or how fast Bernie Sanders would have been, and a Bernie Sanders government that would have been more swift. We really hoped for that one. But still, um, you know, it it still would be the thing to happen. But still, uh, now the more you learn, the more you find out how totally insane our world is, and how absolutely ridiculous our world order is. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I've been doing this something like a year and a half, and I'm just blown away by the insanity of it all. And since I have to do this, I'll do my little rant on this one little point, which is that could it be possible that we are born with some sort of sense of decency, sense of order, in a way that absolutely everything has to be in order. Actually, your chromosomes have to be in a certain order. And could it be again natural that as as living creatures, when we are born, we have a certain need for certain sort of reason, some sort of reasonable order of things, okay? And that is why insanity like this we have at the moment, world is completely insane. It makes no sense whatsoever at the moment. And is it the fact that we cannot really understand insanity, and that's the reason why it can happen. You can have news reports telling that that your leading politicians are complete criminals, and you don't really take it as seriously, or ordinary person doesn't take it as seriously as she or he should, because something in our nature rebels against things being quite so insane. Even though, again, if anyway study history or political theory, that it is actually what is going to happen. You need, as they say, an actual liberal class to check it, and it has failed. But still, I mean, could it be that it is possible, because we don't quite believe it, our basic nature, some sort of, it might be somewhere in gene memory or something, one of our basic instincts simply does not allow us to believe it? I don't know, it's just a question. Go, Labour.